A Journey into the Unknown. Chapter 16. Being a representative of the divine is no easy feat. It takes dedication and commitment. You constantly have to remind yourself that your eyes are only showing you half the picture. They aren't showing you a fictional narrative, only an incomplete one. Just as anyone who looked at you in the past saw only an image, this is how the world is for the vast majority of people. Disconnected images who hope to find purpose in life by finding common ground or shared interests or experiences, a tactic that may work for a while. You, on the other hand, were stirred to awaken from this slumber and realize the truth about yourself and everyone. You aren't just a collection of self-made ideas. You are an idea from God, as you first learned in A Course in Miracles. This idea is an extension from God of pure love, pure awareness and consciousness. This idea became your soul. Human souls have had a backseat ride for the entire human experience. Although souls actually provide the energy for human life, they aren't that involved in the day-to-day decision-making process. This aspect was hijacked by the human operating system, its faulty design, and its faulty interpretation of everything. This faulty design that I speak of is something you are well aware of. It's the me first syndrome. Then, as humanity advanced, it became more of a negotiated deal of how can we both get what we want. An awakened soul realizes that an idea of God and a separate person can't both be true. An idea of God is part of God and has had the functionality of this returned after being fully awakened or enlightened. You are not each the totality of God, but when joined with each other and with all that is, we are. No aspect can be missing. We work until the day that all ideas of God have grown sufficiently to rejoin the fold. Having tired of all their attempts to be human without being part of the God family. An insane idea, and yet this has been our reality here. Show everyone in each of your communities what it's like to be an enlightened soul, being represented by a human body. This is the new prototype. This is the enlightened self of form, or the elevated self of form from A Course of Love. Begin each day by simply talking to us and keeping that line of communication open through the day. We will talk to you as well. If you are staying weed or thought-free, then you will be able to hear us. Who are we? We are ascended masters. We were in your shoes once. Now we live here again through each of you. You aren't an individual anymore. You are a slice of a delicious pie, part of a collective. Please represent us well through your words and your behavior. There are no more days off. You now work for us 24/7 in spreading the love of God throughout the land. Chapter 17. Tenacity and diligence are required of you now. You aren't students or even teachers any longer. You are role models ushering in the time of direct sharing of union. Not just talking or reading about it, as in the days of learning which have passed. Walk the talk and let the world see how joyous representing your Holy Father, Mother in truth really is. Now is the time for complete commitment, complete transformation into being thought-free and non-reactive. These are the signs of a deactivated ego. You are now free to receive instructions from us without resistance. Isn't that what a human life has been? Non-stop resistance? No longer. Now we are in the time of acceptance. Accept who you are and what you are, a tool of the divine in action. Leave the details to us. Chapter 18. In the beginning was just untapped potential. Creativity was usurped by the human operating system. Much like a computer system gone awry, filled with viruses of every type. The antivirus software is for humans to return to their true nature and learn to choose that. Until over time it is strong enough to take control from the virus-riddled system. It's much more difficult than simply downloading the software by pushing a button, as you would on a computer. The act of doing this replacement of choosing love over fear is the ultimate creative act. This has been accomplished in each of you due to your willingness and our support. I'm sure there is not one of you who thinks this was easy. The giving up of yourself to find yourself. Sometimes the awakening process can be quite challenging, difficult, and even emotionally painful. The rewards, however, saw you through. There was some work involved, reading the first 2 installments of this trilogy, and now this third one, as was applying this oftentimes esoteric knowledge in practical ways. Remember, we don't deny that tragic events happen. We just seek to perfect our craft to the point where tragic events and the learning that takes place from them isn't part of our experience here any longer. You are each pillars of light, role models for others to emulate. But you can't do the work for your brothers and sisters, just like no one could do yours. It's an individual process that can't be forced. It's very complicated and very delicate. We celebrate each of you and are grateful for your willingness to be pioneers in the new world. We now seek to increase your numbers by leaps and bounds. It is not a political process. It can't be mandated and legislated. And the stakes are high. Chapter 19. The road less traveled is the one we travel on together. It is not paved and has not had the branches and rocks cleared away. Isn't this what farmers have to attend to before they can spread their seeds and plant their crops? This is where our work begins. In human beings, branches and rocks can be compared to those things that have been projected or cast out, rocks or boulders. And things that have been internally rejected, resulting in blame of self, branches blocking the road after a storm. This is the no escape concept taught in A Course of Love. When you are presented with an opportunity and given a green light by us, teach about the dangers of blaming. Blaming either ourselves and/or others, and the unwanted consequences this may bring. Love accepts and does not criticize. This is where we start to clear many uninhabitable paths for soul growth. Remember, friends, it isn't about us anymore. We've already done the work on ourselves. We are only here now to inspire and foster growth in others, either through being or through doing. The phrases, "let it go," and "it is what it is," have much more meaning than most people think. If truly applied, they will lead to healing. What is it that needs to be healed? It is ultimately the belief in personhood. You are not a separate person. You are an individuated representation of the family of God. Any type of blame brings unwanted things into our lives that can cause great delay in the atonement process. Disease and life's curveballs can't be willed away, but they can be loved away. It's the non-loving thoughts that create these things. Loving thoughts cannot support these roadblocks. They have to dissolve in the face of love and acceptance. In their absence, joy and peace can once again return. Chapter 20. Stay clear. Stay in continuous contact with us as you do your daily work. If you know other light workers or saints, support them in their activities, and they will support you in yours. Some of you are more socially isolated from each other, and this is strategic. We need everyone involved to be at their highest level and to give their best. The pioneers of Christ consciousness now form a blanket or network that functions as a support network for those souls who are lost in the illusion. So, no more going back and forth. Stay awake, everyone. I am the captain of this ship, the House of Truth. You are each crew members. When people in your circle of influence start to question their reality, the human reality, this is where you can gently start to share. It wasn't too long ago that you were in their shoes. You may just provide resources or refer them to another saint who may be a better match. But don't drop the ball. As mentioned in A Course of Love, some people will seek out others with seemingly similar characteristics or backgrounds, while others will be attracted to you because you seem to be so different from them. Just stay lit up with the light, and we will send people towards you. There isn't a church building for the truth because each of you have become the church. Meet seekers for coffee or host a small group in your living room. Read parts of this trilogy out loud and share your enthusiasm for the truth. Share parts of other spiritual books and series that have moved you. If you have been meeting with other saints, meet less often and focus on sharing with new brothers and sisters in Christ. When they are strong enough, they will break away and do the same thing. Do not set yourself up as a guru or leader. The focus should always be on the new initiates. Gurus or leaders are largely human concepts, remember? Chapter 21. This installment begins with a prayer for the dying. A prayer for those unaccustomed to the true ways of the truth. Dear Father, Mother, Great Creator, please help me to harness and extend the love you have given me, the love that I am, to all of those you place before me. I am the mighty truth, powerful enough to cut through any illusion and heal all misperceptions that stem from untrue beliefs. Let us begin each day, each moment, by tapping into the great power of the universal order that includes all universes and all worlds. This is our blessing that we offer. All human suffering stems from inaccurate belief, whereas alignment with love eliminates suffering and replaces it with perfect joy, peace, abundance, and health. This is our task, to model a way out of suffering, one soul at a time. Chapter 22. It is with great trepidation that I say these words. Without an army of spiritual soldiers, there is no hope here. You are our hope. Look at what happened to you. Look at how you transformed from a being of misery to a being of joy. Imagine this happening on a large scale, which is what we need to achieve in the quickest manner possible. The first two books were about you and your development. This book is about your sisters and brothers, who very well may never read a spiritual book, especially ones as dense and intense as A Course in Miracles and A Course of Love. They need a different approach. Chapter 23. There are 3 things we must do now: organize, plan, and disseminate. This text is how we are organizing you into an active body of activists for the truth. We hope to light fires of inspiration in each of you to spread the truth wherever you go. Whether you work in groups or individually, do your work of soul forming by blessing everyone wherever you go. This is the plan, organized loosely for flexibility. Rigidity is not in our nature. The truth flows from us through each of you. This is dissemination. We form a web that will become tighter and tighter as time passes. This web will form the new earth. It resonates at a slightly higher frequency than the egoic level. Our modeling will attract others and encourage them to awaken to the truth about themselves and each other. Chapter 24. We need to talk about nuts and bolts today. Energy can influence energy. Going back to the sun analogy, even on a bitterly cold day in Alaska, the sun's light affects everything and everyone. Stay clear, tend your gardens, and immerse your individual rays into the great ray of light. Spread your clear, cloudless energy in the myriad of ways that you feel called to do so. Encourage others to check out of the world's agenda and be their true selves. Be who they were truly meant to be. How do you do this? You model it. You talk about it. You write about your experiences in Christ consciousness or being awakened. Organize a group for people who share a common interest. Form relationships and be an influencer. Don't share your opinions. Share what you know about reality. Help the ones we send to you to open their eyes. Do you charge money for this? Please don't. If your group has some nominal expenses, it's okay to ask for contributions. But sharing the truth is not a way to make money. Each of you have an income of some type, and this is sufficient. Other than the possible purchase of a book, we don't want to send the message that we profit from sharing the truth. We are the opposite of televangelists.